Hi, and welcome to this new episode. This episode will show you how to sing high notes without any straining or without damaging your voice using the power of your false vocal cords. Yes, there are the true ones and there's the false one. Let's dive into it. Hi, and welcome to this new episode where we're going to be talking about the magic of our false vocal cords. Using the magic of our false vocal cords will help you to sing high notes without damaging your voice, without feeling any tension or straining. Now, what many beginner singers do when they start singing, and when especially start singing higher pitches, is pushing and straining the voice. Maybe that's something that you recognize. The higher you go, the higher you're taking that chest voice up. And you're pushing to get that high pitch out of you. Now, the consequence there is that tensing up is never the solution, especially not when it comes to the muscles around the larynx, because that will only cause hoarseness and irritation on the cords. We don't want to have that. Another thing that many beginner singers make is thinking that the higher we go, the louder we need to sing. And actually, loudness and singing high pitches isn't really linked to each other, because you can also sing higher pitches in a more quiet volume. So going for loudness is a very natural reaction, because the louder we go, the more we get to push our voices. And that's how many beginner singers sing those high pitches. But that's not the healthy way to go. And today, we want to move towards the world of the trained singer. And the trained singer knows that if you feel any pushing or straining, you're doing something wrong. And we need to be looking at your vocal technique. The trained singer knows that you need to activate the mixed voice in order to sing the high pitches. Mixed voice combines the power of your chest voice muscle and the range and flexibility of your head voice muscle. And that's where the sweet spot happens. Also, the trained singer knows that singing high notes has nothing to do with loudness. It has nothing to do with volume. It has everything to do with openness and flexibility. And that's what the false vocal cords can help you do. So as you know, we're always operating from our Sing Yourself to Freedom formula, which consists of 4 pillars. We have the mindset pillar, the vocal technique pillar, the creativity pillar, and then the connection pillar. Today, we are in this vocal technique pillar. So there's many things to discover, but let's dive in and look at what those false vocal cords are. Now, I'm not going to go into the anatomy, or not as deep, because that's beyond the scope of this video, and I do want to put all of this into practice. But really quickly, we have our true vocal cords, which you can compare to 2 rubber bands vibrating against each other when we're singing or when we're talking. And then next to that, we have the false vocal cords. And if you're watching the video, if you're not listening on the podcast, you can see that I'm holding my 2 thumbs up. Those are my false vocal cords. My true vocal cords are right in the middle of that. So whenever I'm tensing up, whenever I'm pushing or straining my voice, those false vocal cords will activate themselves. When they tense up and when they activate, that will cause my true vocal cords to be mashed together. They will be pressed together. Now, in say, that's not such a big problem until those vocal cords, my true vocal cords, when they're pressed together by the false vocal cords, when they're starting to vibrate there, they're not vibrating as freely as they're supposed to. And that causes irritation, that causes the hoarseness, that causes the swelling. We don't want to have that. So the solution here is to keep the false vocal cords neutral, or even relax them. And in today's exercise, I want to help you relax those false vocal cords so that we're not straining those true vocal cords, and so that they can vibrate freely. That's the idea behind it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's try and practice that. Just to illustrate and to make you feel that feeling of the release of the false vocal cords, we're going to be working with a song. We're going to be working with the chorus of All of Me by John Legend. Beautiful song. Anyway, we're first going to sing through it just so that you know how the melody goes and where we're going. Then we're going to put into practice that idea of releasing the false vocal cords so that you can feel the difference. All right, so the chorus goes like this. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Let's keep it to this piece of the chorus. I know there's many other things to discover in this song, but let's try and do that together. If you don't know the song, rewind the video, listen to the melody a couple of times until you can sing along, because if you cannot sing along, there's no point in moving forward together. So let's do that together. Here we go. 1, 2, and 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Beautiful. We've got the melody down. Check. Now let's sing it again. And don't think about anything yet that I've told you about the false vocal cords and the true vocal cords. Just notice how your voice sounds and how your voice feels. So now we're just in the awareness phase of, okay, how does it feel? How does it sound? What am I noticing when I'm singing this using my default singing voice? That's the only thing we're looking for now. Okay, so let's do that again. And 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Beautiful. Now, what did you notice? Maybe you've noticed that it went really well and your voice feels really free. That's amazing. Maybe you've noticed some tension. Maybe you've noticed some shaky notes. Maybe that first sentence was a little bit difficult because all of me. Maybe those higher pitches were a little bit tensed up, and that's totally fine. We're here to fix that. Now let's look at those false vocal cords. How can we relax them? Well, the easy way, and there's many ways, and we can dive deeper into that at some point. But for now, I'm gonna give you one way. One way to release and relax those false vocal cords. So the most easiest way is to yawn. So give me a yawn. Yes. So when we're yawning, our false vocal cords, they're releasing, they're opening up. In other words, by getting into that yawn feeling, my true vocal cords, they're getting more space to vibrate and produce sound, more release for the sound to really fill up your space. So let's try that and really make it as extreme as possible. It's not gonna sound pretty just yet, which is totally fine. Now I just want you to feel that feeling of releasing the false vocal cords. So give me a yawn and let's sing that within the yawn and see how that feels. And it might sound a little bit more classical, which is totally fine. Just let it happen. Right now, we're not looking for pretty sounds. We're looking for, what does it feel like to release those false vocal cords when we're singing? Let's try that. Here we go. And 'cause all of me loves all of you. Stay in the yawn. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Yeah, beautiful. Did you feel that openness? And what did you notice that changed when you were listening to your own voice? So this is where the magic will happen, because I know I told you to really go into the extreme and feel that release of the false vocal cords. Now we're going to make it pretty. So instead of releasing those false vocal cords for 100%, let's try and release them for 75%. In other words, we're trying to keep that feeling of that released false vocal cord, but we're making it pretty. So we're trying to find that sweet spot in between, finding that release, finding that openness and having a beautiful sound. And what beautiful is depends on you. Some people like their sound very warm and round. Other people like their sound very sharp and bright. Whatever fits you. You know, there's no right or wrong here. There's only what do you like within your sound and how can we make that sound feel good. Okay? Let's try that together. Here we go. And 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Beautiful. Okay, tell me, what did you notice? Do you sound differently? Does it feel different? Is it easier? Is it harder? Like, what's going on? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear. This practice is just the start of so many other things that we can discover. I told you that we have the 4 pillars and we're only in the vocal technique pillar. So the beginner singer oftentimes makes the mistake of straining the voice by activating those false vocal cords. We want to release those. That's what the trained singer does. Now again, vocal technique is so broad. We can discover so many things, and this is just the start of it. If you want to dive deeper into this, I'm hosting a free training coming up called Discover the Most Powerful Vocal Technique, and we're actually building upon what we have done here today. So I will highly encourage you to go to the page. I'll link to the training in the description here below and register for that training and keep your vocal practice there. Keep building upon what we've built on today. This training is totally free and is going to change the way that you're singing. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, I'll see you in the training. That's your homework for today. And let me know in the comments down below how this was for you and how this little change in your vocal technique can start to improve your singing. I'm very, very curious to hear how this worked for you. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.